Surah Fatiha English breakdown. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, everyone. It's Farah, and today I'm going to be talking about Surah Fatiha and the whole English breakdown and explanation of it. So let's get started with the full surah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdina as-siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladhina an'amta 'alayhim ghayril maghdubi 'alayhim waladdallin. Amin. So this is the full Surah Fatiha. I think it's one of the most common surahs. So let's get into the English breakdown. So ayah number 1. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. All praise is due to Allah, Lord of the worlds. So the Rabb part in this ayah means Lord, right here. And this ayah is just talking about how Allah controls the whole universe, because he's God, so obviously he controls the whole universe. And yeah, so Allah controls the whole universe. Now the second ayah, Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, the entirely merciful, the especially merciful. So Rahman in both these parts of the ayah means merciful, and that's where we get these two mercifuls. So the entirely merciful, the especially merciful. Let's just clear those drawings and let's go on to the next ayah. Ayah number 3, Maliki Yawmiddin, sovereign of the day recompense. So this day of recompense is talking about the day of Qiyamah, and Allah is like the king of this day, and he's going to control the day of Qiyamah, obviously. So yeah. And let's move on to the next ayah, ayah number 4, Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. It is you we worship and you we ask for help. So in this ayah, we're asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for our to help us, because Allah is the greatest, and honestly it's Allah who we can ask the most help from, and Allah is the one who can help us the most. So this ayah is pretty straightforward, just talking about asking help from Allah. And then ayah number 5, Ihdina as-siratal mustaqim. So this is us asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to guide us in a straight path. So straight path meaning like the right path towards Islam, like in this picture, straight ahead, straight path, instead of like going in loop-de-loops around or whatever to get to the path. Because a straight path is faster, more efficient, and better, obviously. And this like loop-to-loop path is not very good. So in this ayah, we're asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to guide us to the straight path to Islam, inshallah. So yeah. And then 6th ayah, Siratul ladhina an'amta 'alayhim, the path of those whom you have bestowed favor. So this ayah is asking Allah to bestow us the path of the people who Allah has bestowed upon favor. So these people are specifically, there are 4 types of these people that Allah bestows favors on, or Allah likes. So 4 types of people. So the 4 types are, number 1, the prophets, and we're obviously not prophets, so that one's kind of out of the picture, and that's reserved specifically for the prophets. So Allah bestows his favors onto the prophets, but we can't be that. But we can be the second one, which is Siddiq. So Siddiq is the speakers of truth, basically. So these are people who always tell the truth, and they're very truthful no matter what the case is. Like, it doesn't matter how in trouble they'll get for saying the truth or whatever, they always say the truth. So that's another four types. That's one of the other people that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala likes. Then the third one is Shaheed. So Shaheed are the people who died for the sake of Allah. So people who died, or also known as martyred, I'm pretty sure. People who died for oh, the sake of Allah. So these people, like it was pretty common back in the early days of Islam when there was lots of battles. The people who died for the sake of Islam, they're known as shaheed, and they're liked by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And it's said that like when they die, they're not really dead. I mean, we obviously can't see them, but yeah, because they died for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So yeah. So that is the third person. And the second one is Salihin. Salihin. And Salihin is the people, it's the people who do good deeds and follow all the principles of Islam. Principles of Islam. So these people are basically like your good Muslims, who like, you know, pray their salah, are really nice, and they're overall a really good Muslim. So in this ayah, it's basically it's asking Allah to guide us to the path of the people who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has bestowed favor on, and these are the four types of people. Okay, so let's just clear that and go to the next ayah. So this is ayah number 6 continued, and it's the last ayah. So this last ayah is just continuing on to the ayah before, and it's talking again about the path of those good people that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has bestowed favors on. But then it's also asking not for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to lead us on the path who has evoked his anger and those who are astray. So evoked their anger, like doing sins and whatnot, and then who are astray are people who like left Islam or like getting away from Islam and doing bad things. So then that leads us to the full translation. So I'll read it and then I'll explain a little bit more. So all praise is due to Allah, Lord of the worlds, the entirely merciful, the especially merciful, sovereign of the day recommends. It is you we worship and you ask for help. Guide us to the straight path, the path of those upon whom you have bestowed favor, the path of those whom you have bestowed favor, not those who have evoked your anger, or of those who are astray. So last thing I'm going to talk about is there is a little bit of a pattern, or not a pattern, little thing in this surah, is that the first 3 ayahs are praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So these first 3 ayahs right here, these 3 are praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Is praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and like in the first ayah it says like it says alham or something, yeah, and alhamdulillah is like another way to say thanks or to show shukr. So we're thanking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we're just praising him in these 3 ayahs, and in the next 3 ayahs, ignore the 7, this is just part 2 of ayah 6. So in the next 3 ayahs, it's asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for things like asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for help, asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to guide us on the straight path, asking Allah to guide us to the path of the people who he bestowed favors, and asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to guide us away from the people who evoke Allah's anger and who are astray. So yeah, so most of these ayahs are pretty straightforward. First 3 ayahs are praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and the last 3 ayahs are asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for just overall things to get us, inshallah, to be better Muslims. So that is the full translation, English. These are the sources of like the pictures and stuff, but this is all boring stuff. So yeah, The end. Jazakallah khair for watching, everyone. And I hope we learned a little bit more together about the surah. Allah Hafiz.